Welcome back to the Trinity Chronicles. Today, we're diving into the feast of St. Ignatius of Loyola. You know, it's absolutely wild to think that one of the most massive spiritual movements in human history literally kicked off with a gruesome, bone-shattering battlefield injury. I'm super excited to walk you through this because our guiding theme today is just so transformative. When the gospel truly collides with real life, hearts change. We're going to explore this incredible pivot from a life totally obsessed with external trophies to one guided by a profoundly clear inner compass.
So let's jump right in by asking a question that, let's be real, we all wrestle with, usually in those quiet 2 a.m. moments when we're alone with our thoughts. What am I really living for? Are we just on this endless treadmill chasing the next promotion, societal clout, or whatever looks good on paper? Or, if we're being totally honest with ourselves, are we actually thirsting for something way deeper? Because in every human heart, there's this profound ache that no worldly achievement is ever going to fully satisfy. And today, we're looking at a guy who figured out exactly how to quench that thirst.
Part 1. The Pursuit of Glory. Okay, so the man we're looking at today, he initially chased worldly recognition with literally everything he had. Ignatius of Loyola was definitely not born a saint. Actually, scratch that, he was far from it. He was a soldier, and honestly, he was incredibly vain. He was that guy wearing tight-fitting clothes just to show off his physique. He loved swordplay and was completely obsessed with courtly romance and impressing the ladies of the royal court. His entire identity was wrapped up in being the big hero on the battlefield. Part 2. A Shattered Worldly Dream. Well, life has a funny way of interrupting our best-laid plans, doesn't it? In 1521, during the totally brutal Battle of Pamplona, his physical reality and his massive ambitions were literally shattered. A cannonball tore through a wall and just demolished Ignatius's leg. I mean, the visceral reality of a 16th century cannonball strike, it completely pulverized his bone. And with it, it destroyed every single dream he had of military glory. Suddenly, this hyperactive, hyper-ambitious soldier is stuck in a bed, facing months of agonizing recovery, and forced to confront the terrifying reality that his old life, it's over. Now, to pass the time during that awful recovery, Ignatius was desperate for those romantic tales of knights and chivalry, just to keep the dream alive, right? But they didn't have any lying around the castle. So he was handed whatever they did have, specifically a medieval book on the life of Christ and another one on the saints. And as he read, he noticed something absolutely fascinating happening in his own head. When he spent hours daydreaming about worldly success and knightly glory, it felt super exciting in the moment, but it always left him with this heavy, lingering emptiness. But when he imagined following Jesus and imitating the saints, the result was this deep, sustaining, rock-solid peace. And that stark contrast right there birthed the most important question of his entire life. Which voice leads me toward Christ? He realized this was the absolute foundation of his new spiritual battle. It wasn't about fighting external armies with swords anymore. It was about paying incredibly close attention to the subtle tugs within his own soul. Recognizing the difference between that fleeting thrill of the world that just leaves you empty and the gentle whisper of God that leaves you at peace, well, that was the birth of true spiritual discernment. Part 3. The Art of Discernment. Taking this massive realization, Ignatius packed up and traveled to Manresa. Now, Manresa was a tiny, quiet town, literally the polar opposite of the prestigious royal courts he was used to. And there, in a simple cave, he spent months in deep, uninterrupted prayer. Stripped of his shiny armor, his fancy titles, and his old ego, he discovered a profound truth. God speaks gently, in the very depths of our hearts. It's a real art form to learn how to listen, and it requires us to mute the external noise so we can finally tune into that divine frequency. Out of those quiet, intense months in that cave came a framework that literally changed the world, the spiritual exercises. But here's the thing, it's a journey, not merely a book to just passively read. It's an active, totally transformative manual for the soul. It's designed to help you conquer your attachments and get your life in order. It's a structured path to finding God in all things, and it is still used by millions of people across the globe today to navigate our incredibly complex modern lives. I actually want us to practice this right now. Seriously, let's just pause here for a second, take a deep breath, and let's walk through these 4 steps of real-time discernment together. Okay, step 1. Notice God's presence today. Just quickly scan your last 24 hours. Where did you feel a genuine sense of peace or gratitude? Step 2. Notice fear or distraction. Where did pride, anxiety, or just the chaotic noise of the world pull you away from that peace? Step 3. Choose the voice of love. Actively decide right now to pivot away from that fear and lean back into the grace. And step 4. Follow Jesus. Let that voice of love dictate your very next action. This simple 4-step path is still guiding millions because it actively syncs up our daily choices with a much higher purpose. Part 4. For the greater glory. Now, Ignatius didn't just hoard this incredible framework for himself. He eventually headed to university, and there he started guiding others through these exact same spiritual exercises. He ended up gathering this extraordinary group of companions, guys like Francis Xavier and Peter Faber, and their hearts were just completely set on fire by this exact same gospel vision of service and discernment. It spread like wildfire.
So the crucial point here is what this group decided to do together. They founded the Society of Jesus under the banner of AMDG, Ad Majorem Dei Gloriam. That translates to for the greater glory of God. And this is key. They didn't build this for their own prestige or comfort. Ignatius literally never wanted followers for himself. He solely wanted disciples of Christ. Every single school they built, every mission they went on, was strictly directed toward God's greater glory, not theirs. Just look at this rapid, completely life-altering timeline for a second. In 1521, he's a physically broken soldier at the Battle of Pamplona. Just months later, he's stuck in a recovery bed fighting this intense spiritual battle. By 1522, he's sitting in a cave in Manresa mapping out the rules of discernment. And by 1540, he is officially founding the Society of Jesus. It is just a stunning reminder of how incredibly fast grace can move and reshape history when just one person fully surrenders their own plans.
Part 5. Finding your true vocation. Because look, this isn't just some dusty history lesson about a 16th century saint. This is highly relevant to us right now. Today, our modern world, especially in vibrant, fast-growing places like India, doesn't just need more so-called successful professionals chasing a paycheck. We desperately need youth and honestly people of all ages who can actually hear God's voice cutting through the absolute deafening noise of conventional, worldly success.
Whether you feel called to the priesthood or religious life, marriage, education, medicine, engineering, or public service, I really want to highlight something absolutely essential here. Every single one of these vocations becomes profoundly holy when Christ is at the center. It is not about the fancy title you hold, it is entirely about the spirit in which you serve. So before you just choose a career based on salary, societal pressure, or status, I'm urging you to stop and ask Jesus about your calling. Discern where you can bring the greatest love and serve the greater glory.
To truly embody this mindset, Ignatius wrote this escape. It's a prayer of radical, just beautiful surrender. Let these words really sink in for a moment. Take, Lord, receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, and my entire will. All I have and possess you have given me. To you, O Lord, I return it. All is yours. Dispose of it wholly according to your will. Give me only your love and your grace, for this is enough for me. Guys, this is exactly what it looks like to hand the keys of your life over entirely to the one who created you.
As we bring this explainer to a close, let's make this our own shared prayer for our lives. Lord Jesus, let it be not my ambition, but your invitation. Not my worldly success, but your divine will. Teach me to seek and find you in all things, just exactly like Ignatius did. And please, show me the life you created me to live and give me the absolute courage to answer your call with radical generosity.
If today's exploration touched your heart even a little bit, I really encourage you, do not stop with Ignatius. Use his story as a launch pad to walk your own journey until you meet Jesus Christ. I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder. When you look at your life today, stripped of all the titles and the noise, can you sincerely say, Lord Jesus, here I am. Until we meet again, walk gently, stay infinitely curious, and keep your heart wide open to Christ.